Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Bob Arum has weighed in on the Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney situation. Now, that fight fell through, and initially I, like a lot of other people, thought, well, perhaps it's got something to do with the fact that Lopez was so, rude towards Turki Al-Sheikh, and Al-Sheikh has sort of washed his hands of him. But in actual fact, Lopez essentially swerved Haney. And he may consider that there's a perfectly legitimate reason for this. He may think I've got bigger fish to fry, in which case you can't really call it a duck if you're going after someone bigger and better. In this case, that would be Jaron Boots Ennis. So if you've got a choice of two opponents and you're picking the bigger and better one, it's hard to be, too critical. But there doesn't seem to be anything in the pipeline regarding Lopez versus Ennis. So you have to ask, well, why on earth has he turned down what Tim Bradley stated was an $11 million purse to fight Haney? Now, Bob Arum, he's, as we know, what is he now, 92, 93? I mean, he'll be promoting and riding around, running his mouth off, when he's on his deathbed. He just doesn't care. He just says what he thinks. And I suppose if I ever get 93, God forbid, then I'll be doing the same. I try to be a little bit more diplomatic at the age I am now. But Arum has said, look, I can't. He said when someone is giving you tremendous amounts of money you've never seen before, why are you so angry? I was talking about Lopez. He says, I can't figure it out. I can't think of a theory of what he's trying to do with this. The money, with the money he's talking about, and this was such a winnable fight, a more winnable fight than with Ennis, which I think most people would agree with, to be honest with you. And then he says, and also he talks about Lopez and his little Twitter spat, or whatever they call it, with Al-Sheikh. He said, why are you attacking Turkey? It's just craziness. I can't counsel him because you can't counsel someone who's not listening. This is nuts, he says. Well, I don't think there's much to disagree with there, if I'm being honest, but it does beg the question that, where exactly does Lopez and his father and his whole team think his career is going? If he doesn't want to fight Haney for $11 million, if it is $11 million, I mean, that hasn't been confirmed, but Lopez is 27 now, okay? He's clearly got talent. He was the only good thing about that unfortunately very disappointing Times Square card. I mean, he looked good against Arnold Barboza Jr., who was undefeated in 32 fights, and he outboxed him very, very well. Clearly won the fight, won most of the rounds. And he fought a very disciplined, intelligent, very sort of impressive fight. So you would think, well, at 27, now is the time. He calls himself the takeover. Now is the time to really take over. I'm going to build on this victory, and I'm going to, start picking up the names, start fighting my contemporaries, and build a legacy, and also make a shit ton of money. I mean, don't forget, Lopez has defeated, Josh Taylor when Taylor was undefeated. I thought he lost to Sandor Martin. He's beaten Lomachenko, of course, who retired yesterday. And, the defeat to Kambosos looks bad on paper, especially as Kambosos hasn't really done anything since then. But he sort of blows hot and cold, doesn't he, in the ring, Lopez? Because if you look at the Steve Claggett fight, he clearly won that fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, he won. If he didn't win every round, then he won almost all of them. But Claggett, you think he'd be putting people like Claggett away. Claggett's a decent enough fighter, but he came in with 38 wins, 7 defeats and 2 draws. So he's been beaten before, 7 times. And then he got a decision over Jermaine Ortiz. Ortiz ain't a bad fighter, but there have been times when Teo has looked like $1 million, and other times when he's looked, really quite mediocre. And now is the time to make your move at 27. So by the time he hits 30, if he did the right, if he fought the right people, and by the time he's 30, he could be financially set up for life, if he isn't already, because he's had some big paychecks. But you could have built a legacy, get out the game when you're 32 or whatever, with your faculties intact. You've got to play the long game, and I don't see any kind of long game with Teofimo Lopez. He's sort of, he's just like a cork in the sea, getting taken wherever the tide takes it, and the tide seems to be his sort of rather emotional sort of whims. Today I'll do this. Today I'll say this. I won't do that. No, I'll do this. No, I won't. It's all this sort of thing. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? So I kind of agree with Arum. I kind of agree with Bob Arum. I don't know whether you do, but let me know what you think about Teofimo Lopez. Who would you have him fight next, if not Haney? I mean, I think the Haney fight was a great fight. It was a very good fight for Teo, but let me know what you think. And I think Ennis, anyway, Jaron Ennis is going up to 154. That's sort of 80% confirmed. So if Teo wants to fight him at 147, I don't see that happening, frankly. He'd have to jump to 154, and I think he's too small for 154. But let me know what you think. Comments below. And if you like the video, hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel to help us out. It takes a second, cost you nothing. Much appreciated. I'm looking forward to reading your comments, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day, and bye for now.